Just 1 second. All right. Hey, everybody. Today is Monday, June 5th. It's the 5th, right? I'm like, where's my calendar?
Yes, it is the 5th.
Can't believe it. This month is going so fast. So I wanted to just tell you guys real quick, we've got a ton of awesome things going on this month before we get into the call. Today we started our new coach training. Jessica and I are running it. So if you have any new coaches, it's a perfect place to put them. We will help them get to Emerald and Success Club in 7 days. And then we also, if you have any coaches on your team that their goal is to be Emerald and a solid Success Club, it's a perfect group for them. It's easy. It's not too much information. It'll give them a good solid foundation, but the goal is Emerald and Success Club. Because we want everybody to be qualified for leads, especially with Shift Shop coming out in July. The leads are going to grow. They always grow so much in the summer anyways, like June leads should be awesome. July will be great, and so will August. So we want to make sure that coaches are able to take advantage of those. So we'll be doing that. So if you've got anybody in there, it's not too late to add them. Also, Diamond Group. If your goal is to be Diamond, and you're already an Emerald, then you are welcome to join Scott and I, my husband. We have a group called Decision Diamond. And the goal is to get to Diamond in 45 to 60 days. My husband and I are coming together. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do the training together. It's not going to be a bunch of busy work, really focused on those activities that will get you to where you want to be. And we will be starting that. We're going to start that tomorrow. So the kickoff call is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It will be recorded, but we would love to see you on there live if possible. And that is a group. It's a private group because you're going to be getting coaching from myself and from Scott in there. And so any of your coaches that want to go Diamond and you have to be an Emerald to be in that group. So if you're not Emerald yet, get your booty to Emerald. If you've got coaches that are rocking it, help them get to Emerald. It's just 2 people, and they can be part of that group and get to Diamond. So that's what we have going on for our team. The other thing is, you guys are doing awesome. Our Success Club board came out today from May. It's fantastic, you guys. So good. And I'm so proud of everybody. And then this month is going to be great as well. It's a great time for people because after Memorial Day, we're starting the summer and people are like, what am I going to do for my fitness and nutrition? And I'm getting a lot of messages from people that were previously I've contacted that are now ready to take the next step. So make sure you're following up with people. It's something a lot of people put off. And then when they realize the sun is out and they want to go, wear a bikini or a swimsuit or shorts, they kind of start freaking out. They are going to buy a solution. And so make sure it's you. Okay. So make sure you've got yourself out there for them to have as an option. All right. Okay. So we have an awesome call for you tonight. We have Archana with us, and she is amazing. It's so funny because I have only seen her in person twice, and I feel like I know her so well. So that's the power of our Beachbody community. But she has a great husband and 2 adorable, adorable kids that I got to meet in Punta Cana last month. And then she's a doctor. And guess what she's going to talk about? Why network marketing is a great opportunity. So, guys, she's a doctor. She's going to be talking about why Beachbody is a good opportunity. So I know it's a good opportunity, but I definitely would be taking notes because it's going to be awesome. She has a great career already. So let's hear why this is a good opportunity. So, all right, girl, you ready?
Yeah, I am. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm really excited to be talking tonight. You guys can all hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So just a little bit about myself. I like Tanya said, I'm married. I have 2 kids. I'm an emergency physician. I've been so I work in the ER and a lot of kind of strange hours. Sometimes day shifts. Like today, I worked a day shift, but I work a lot of weekends, a lot of nights, and a lot of time away from the family, and a lot of holidays too. And so anyway, how did I find Beachbody, and how did I end up in MLM? So basically, and actually, one other thing I just should share, that I'm a Diamond Beachbody coach. I've been coaching for about a year and a half. And I definitely, when I first ended up in this opportunity, I really had no idea what network marketing was about. I literally had never heard the term before, literally never heard it before. And then when I was in one of their groups, after a couple of months, somebody posted something about MLM, and I'm like, what's an MLM? What does that even stand for? I literally had never heard of it, didn't know anything about what it was. So I ended up in this opportunity because, just like a lot of other people on this team, as a customer, and I had actually been doing Beachbody programs. I don't really even think I really knew much about what Beachbody was, but I had done I had done 10-minute trainer when I was in residency, because I literally had 10 minutes to exercise. And then after having kids, my brother had pointed out insanity to me. He had done P90. I was like, I can't do that. That's too crazy. And so he had lent me his insanity DVDs. And then one time he sent me, for my birthday, he sent me Chalene Extreme. And so I kind of just got started as a customer. And then I actually met Jenny Hobbs, who's my sponsoring coach, online in a mommy group. And she was talking about 21 Day Fix. And I had just bought it off of Amazon. And she was like, oh, I'm doing a group if anybody wants to join in. I was like, sure, I'll join in. And I love the accountability and everything like that. And I thought it was the most amazing thing. And so she just simply invited me to become a coach. And it was kind of funny, because I had been looking for a business opportunity. I had my husband and I were thinking about different businesses we could run. We're very kind of entrepreneurial. I had this t-shirt business that I was running that I had started on my own. And it was basically kind of novelty t-shirts geared towards Indian Americans. Once we had our kids, we had all these cute little pet names. They're kind of very niche marketing. And so we started to try to create this t-shirt business, and it was really hard to figure out. I was on my own trying to figure out this thing. I had nobody else kind of supporting me or to guide me, and I was trying to figure out what the heck I was doing, and kind of failing, but trying my best, failing forward. And then Jenny told me about this, and I wasn't sure if it was the right thing for me. I was actually considering quite a lot of different things in terms of other business opportunities. My husband and I were constantly tossing around ideas. But the thing was, I was loving Beachbody. I was loving being in the groups. And so I decided that I would go ahead and give coaching a try. And I actually really wanted to try out Shakeology. And Jenny was like, well, you may as well get the discount. I was like, okay. So I literally signed up as a discount coach at first. But I very, very quickly realized how cool of an opportunity this was. I think part of my, just having kind of this entrepreneurial background, my father was also really into businesses, and he had a variety of different businesses. So I kind of grew up seeing businesses. And so I kind of just had this background of wanting to do something. And but I realized how hard it was to do on your own, and how hard it was to be a small business owner. My parents had been small business owners, so I saw kind of what that was like. And so when I saw what Beachbody had to offer and what this was all about, then I started to really realize the huge potential in it. So what I did think, like I said, I didn't know at all what network marketing was about, what an MLM was. I literally went into it blind, not knowing. And I literally thought all I was going to be doing is coaching people along and just asking people to invite me. And that's all I really knew when I signed up as a coach. And so, so what I did know though, is that I thought it was really amazing when I earned my first paycheck, and it was not while I was at the hospital. I didn't have to be away from my family to earn income. I could be sitting in my pajamas in my bed, or I could be watching my kids at their swim practices, or I could be on vacation, and be earning income. And I thought that was the most amazing thing, because for me, earning income, I get paid by the hour. I'm a shift worker. I'm hospital employed. So I get paid by the hour. If I'm not there, then I don't get paid. So when I want to take a vacation, if I want to go away for a few weeks, like I have to give up shifts and basically give up money to like go away, you know, to take a vacation. So, or if I get sick, I also just give up income. So to me, this was like the coolest thing ever. Like if I would go get a pedicure and like sign someone up with a challenge pack at the same time, I was like, oh, it's so cool. I get paid to like be like on my phone while I'm getting a pedicure. And like, honestly, it didn't even feel like work to me. Like it literally just felt like connecting with people and socializing. And like, I didn't really feel like this compared to like what I was doing in the ER. Like I was like, this is not work. Like this is just like fun and socialization and just like connecting with people. And I thought it was so cool how it was basically, you know, keeping me accountable with my fitness. It like really took it to the next level for me. And then it also was like really pushing me to do like personal development and just like grow. So I thought it was like the coolest thing how I was basically getting paid to become a better person, like not only physically, but like transforming myself on a personal level, psychologically, emotionally, with like confidence and all of that kind of stuff, and just really working on myself. So I felt like I was getting paid to get fit and to work on myself. So actually, as I was kind of like preparing for this call, I came across this really great quote about somebody was talking about why network marketing is such a great opportunity. And they said it's basically a personal transformation journey with a compensation plan attached. And you basically get paid to develop yourself. And I totally agree with that, because like the more you develop yourself and the more you let go of those limitations that, I mean, everybody comes with, you know, like we grow up with, we have all these life experiences, we put these limitations on ourselves, or maybe other people say things to us or whatever, we get these things in our head, right? These limiting beliefs in our head. So the more we overcome them, the more our income is going to grow, the more you're going to personally transform it, and that is actually going to directly affect your business. So I think that was a really great quote. So in kind of preparing for this, it's really quite amazing, like all the people who endorse network marketing, from Tony Robbins to Grant Cardone, who wrote the book, The 10X Rule, and Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so they all like think network marketing is a really great opportunity. And so these are like people who are really successful entrepreneurs, and you know, they coach people in business, and they're like recommending network marketing. So I think that that's pretty cool that they're endorsing it. And so why is it that they're endorsing it? So I kind of like went through some YouTube videos of them, and I was like, well, what is it about it that they think is so great? And so, you know, it comes down to a lot of things, but I'll kind of go through some of them. There's about 10 or so things that they essentially pointed out. And so one of them is that you get to be the CEO of your own company without having to develop like a product, test the product, source the product, hold inventory, ship products, customer service. There's so much that goes into like what Beachbody does for us, right? Like they come out with all these products, they run test groups, they test Shakeology. There's so much that they do behind the scenes, and we don't have to deal with any of that. Like, can you imagine having to be a CEO and like having to handle all of that stuff and having, you know, all these employees, right? So we don't have to do any of that, yet we still get to be the CEO of our own company, right? And really what we have to do as network marketers is really simple. I mean, it's nothing nearly as complex as what a CEO like Carl does, right? It's really a simple business. It's all about just connecting with people and talking with them, which is why, like, when I first started, I was like, this doesn't really feel like work. Like, it felt like a lot more like just like socializing and just connecting with people and just like hearing what their stories were and what they were struggling with. And then once they were a challenger of mine or a coach of mine, just supporting them along the way. And so it's really a simple business. It's truly just about connecting with people and growing your network and constantly meeting new people and just like connecting with them. So it's very, very simple. That's like pretty much the business plan. And that's what's really beautiful about it. And they also talk about how what's really great about network marketing is that you're not out there on your own. You know, you're not out there on your own. Like when I was trying to do my t-shirt business, I was literally trying to figure out what I was doing on my own, trying to figure out how to use social media, how to market. But the cool thing about when you're a part of a company like Beachbody or any network marketing company is that you get that support and training from the company and from your team. And so you really feel like a part of something. There's people, that forward momentum. And, like I heard this really great quote that like when you're a part of a team, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's like the math changes. There's synergy, right? It's like 1 + 1 = 3. All of a sudden, there's more momentum for the team. Like when other people are doing well, it's kind of like the water rises and all ships rise together, right? So that's something I thought was really awesome about being a part of Team Beachbody. And then the next thing that they talk about, like all of these leaders talk about, like Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki, is the whole concept of passive and residual income. And this is like so key, right? So, like for Beachbody, we earn our commissions, 25%, but then we can also earn passive income or like team bonus, which is essentially like passive income, right? So for growing your team, you can earn income as well. And that's really where the magic starts to happen, and you start to really see your paychecks grow with that passive income. And that's where you start to have more freedom, right? So you can be traveling the world, you can be home with your kids, but you could be on a day of vacation and not working your business at all, but you're still earning income. And that's something that's really huge for me, where like I had mentioned for my job, like if I'm not at work, like I don't earn income. I'm an employee, right? So if I'm not there, I don't earn income. There's no passive income. And so so that to me is like really huge. And that's a big thing that I want to grow. And that's what I think is really attractive to a lot of people, is just the idea of having passive income, where essentially you'll still be earning income in your sleep even, and that's something that's really huge, which as an employee, you'll never get. And even as oftentimes as a small business owner, you'll never get that. So unlike a traditional business, there's also no overhead. Aside from Shakeology, I guess, which you consume. So you consume your overhead. So it's not like it's just sitting around stockpiling, and it shouldn't be. Make sure you're drinking your Shakeology. But so I actually have family and friends who have franchises like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, Subway, any kind of franchise. There's thousands of franchises out there, and I have family members who are considering getting a franchise. And like when you look at that, like if you want to be a small business owner and a franchise owner, like basically the startup costs are like $200,000 or more. And that's just to like get the thing off the ground, right? And then typically people don't even make money for like 3 years. They're like in the red for 3 years. So, compare, and then of course there's just, you're a small business owner, people try to keep their costs down low, so they might not have like a fully staffed thing, employees, if any of their employees call in sick, then the owner is usually the one who's on call to go in and work. And so it's like you really don't have freedom. You're pretty much like chained to your franchise, especially in the beginning. Like maybe once you get some momentum and you start to make some profits, then you might start hiring more and have more of like a backup plan for when someone calls in sick. Because the thing is, you have a brick and mortar store. You've got to be there certain hours. You've got to open, you've got to close. Like you can't just walk, you can't just not be there. And so, and even just like going on vacation is going to be difficult, right? So, so as my friends and family were considering it, I was like, whoa, that sounds like so crazy, like that's just so much responsibility to own something like that, So compared to that, and that's why like some of the, like Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki endorse this, because you don't have those huge startup costs. And you don't even know if that's going to make money for you at the end of the day, right? So you have these really low startup costs, like the cost of a challenge pack for, becoming a coach, and, your coach monthly fee of $15, whatever. So it's really not like huge overhead in comparison to other small business opportunities. Like if you really want to own a business, like, being a small business owner, it's really tough. Like, and like I said, my parents have had small business. I like saw what it was like, it was really tough to manage. It's like very stressful. It's like it's basically all on you. You're like solo and you have to do it all. So anyway, So the next point is just like building how within part-time hours, you can actually build a substantial business. So you don't need to do this full time. Like I know Tanya's is, she built most of her business working 10 to 15 hours a week. And I believe Jessie was roughly the same, like 20 hours a week. So, and they're both, Tanya, I mean, I know you're 6 figures or more, and like Jessie's in the Millionaire Club, right? So, if they can build a business in less, 20 hours or less a week, that's pretty amazing in those kind of income range, right? So, so in part-time, you can build a substantial business in part-time hours. You can fit this around your schedule. And that's basically what I do. Like I said, I work a lot of weird hours. Sometimes I just really fit it in. I don't have like a typical day. My day is not, there's nothing really typical about any of my days. Every day is different. So I just fit it in pockets of time when I can. And, I've been able to to make it work, so whatever work you're currently doing, you can figure out a way to fit it in. Or if you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, whatever, you can fit it into your lifestyle. Whereas, like I mentioned, like if you were to have a small business, like, that's going to dictate your lifestyle. When you own a small business, it's going to completely dictate, because you got to be there to open and close and all this stuff, right? So that's what's really awesome about this opportunity. And then the next point is that there are proven systems set in place for you. And all you really have to do is simply follow them and show up every day, and they will work. They're basically proven systems. And so that's what you get when you join a network marketing is you get coaching, you get mentorship, and you get coaching, and you get a system that you follow. And that for us is the vital behaviors. It's really as simple as that. Like if you just show up every day and do those, you're going to start to see success. So it's just a matter of doing that. And as opposed to like, let's say you want to start your own business and, like some kind of startup or something, like you need to figure it out. You got to hire coaches to help you. You got to hire the right people. And like I said, like I had this t-shirt business and I was like literally trying to figure it out. I was not getting very far on my own. So it's a lot harder on your own to figure these things out. But when you have a system, it's just like easy to plug into, and you just go along with it. And then you have people guiding you, and you see where they've gone and how they've done things. And I think that that's been really, really awesome. So then another point is that why some of these people endorse network marketing is the tax benefits that you get as a business owner. So when you're an employee, your tax rate is anywhere from like 33 to 50%, depending on your income level. But when, as a business owner, and I'm not like a tax person whatsoever, but anyway, like as a business owner, your taxable income goes way down. And that's like a huge benefit for you, because when you think about it, like when you're an employee, like, and I've actually thought about this, right? So, and we kind of did this math, like when my kids were little, right? Like, okay, if I were to work more, yes, I would bring home more, but then we would actually pay more in taxes. So like, what would I actually gain that I would get to keep? And it wasn't that much more, right? So we kind of did this math when I was like considering going down on my hours. And I was like, okay, me going down on my hours doesn't really change our take-home income that much. So, I mean, it just really depends what your income level is. So, but that's the thing, when you're an employee, the way that the tax laws are set up is that the more you earn, the more you're taxed. And so, but that's the cool thing about having a business, because the more you earn, I mean, you're in this totally different tax level when you own a business. So therefore, your income it's not like the more you earn, the more you're taxed. You're just at a totally different level. So that's such a huge benefit, and like something that like the Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki like really talks a lot about that, how that you need to have a business, and because that's how you're going to get ahead. Because as an employee, you work harder, you get taxed more, and you're not going to be taking home as much. But when you own your own business, then you are automatically dropping down to a lower tax rate, and you're going to be able to keep more of the money that you're earning. So I think that that was a really good point to make. And then another point is just that you have a fast way to grow your income. So my whole thing about this is that, so I am a doctor, right? And I have really great earning potential, and I'm really thankful for it. But here's the thing. I came out of school with like $200,000 in debt. right, from school. I went to undergrad for 4 years and went to med school for 4 years. And then, okay, so I earned absolutely no money then. I was shelling out money, $200,000, right? And then I get a minimum wage job called residency for 4 years. It's like literally like minimum wage, like barely like making it, right? Paying my bills. So I have to do that for 4 years. And then after that, then I start earning a good income. So it's a long, long road. So it's like 12 years of, you know, hard work, not earning money for 8 years, and then minimum wage for 4 years. And then you arrive, right? And you're like, wow, I'm golden. But then you still have all this debt, right? And can you imagine where you would be in 12 years of Beachbody business? Like if you worked your business for like consistently for 12 years. Like I think that most people would have like a really awesome income. Like if they were truly working their business, not like just pretending that they're working their business, but like really working it. So, I mean, I think that that's pretty amazing that like, I mean, Tanya, I think you've been a coach for like 6 years or so, 5 years. So, I mean, and then Jessie is like, what, 7 years? And so
she's 5 and she's 6. Yeah.
6. Yeah. I mean, so they have these really great incomes in half the time that it took me to earn like decent money as a, you know, like as an attending, you know, as a, you know, once I was finally done with all my training. So, you know, so I think that that's pretty cool, you know, like that you can earn a really good income, and, you know, and then be at home with your kids and, you know, have some freedom of time and everything like that, and not have to go through all this crazy training that, that I did. You know, I love my job. I'm not complaining about it by any means. And it was what I wanted to do, but I think it's really cool. Like it's a really great opportunity. Let me just scroll down here. So, you know, and then kind of going back to the whole, so you don't have to trade your time for money, right? So with me, like, I mean, I kind of mentioned this in a few different ways, but basically like I have to trade my time to earn money. There's no way for me to earn, like if I didn't have Beachbody, there would be no way for me to earn income just me sitting around at home, right? Like I have to go to work. I have to be away from my family. I have to miss out on things like holidays and other things, you know, going on with my kids, right? So, but the beauty of this network marketing is that once you start building a passive or residual income, then you can start having more of that. As you build your team, you can start having more of that passive income, and you can work from anywhere. Like I have a lot of family that lives abroad. Like my in-laws live in Nepal, and I have a brother who lives in London. And so like and my kids like have their cousins living abroad. Like they have no cousins that live here in the US with them. So they want to see them. And like, I think that's really cool. Like we went on a trip to Nepal, and I thought it was the most amazing thing that I could be earning income while I was there. And I was working my Beachbody business. I could be anywhere where there's internet access and earn income. And that's really cool. And then even like I was on vacation, so I wasn't like able to dedicate the same number of hours I would normally, but I was still having some passive income coming in because I had built up a little bit of a team. So, and then, you know, so the whole thing about all of this is kind of just like freeing yourself. Like Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad author, he talks about how network marketing is an opportunity to free yourself from the addiction of a paycheck. And, you know, we're basically, as an employee, you're working hard for others versus working hard for yourself. And he has this little chart. I printed it out. Is this coming out backwards? Yeah, it is. Okay, but you guys can probably all read backwards. So anyway, this says here how most of us are employees, right? That's what I am. I'm an employee of a hospital. And he talks about how we basically want to get over here. So here's employee, here's self-employed, which is like owning your own small business, like a franchise. And here's being a business owner, which we are as Beachbody coaches. And here's being an investor. So he talks about how you want to go from being an employee where you have to pay, like, first of all, you work harder and you get to take home less. You work harder and you take home less, right? Because you're getting taxed more. So he says you want to go from that to small business owner is like, I guess, somewhat of an improvement, but he doesn't really even endorse that. he says, what you really want to be is over here, like a business owner where you own a system and you have a team that works for you, which is basically what Beachbody is. And then here is being an investor. So you want to invest your money, right? So once you earn your income, you know, he talks about putting your money to work for you through investments, but that's like beyond this talk. But so anyway, like the whole point was kind of like, and this was like a real like light bulb moment for me, because it's like, oh my God, I'm just totally an employee. I'm a very high paid employee, but I'm still an employee. Like I keep mentioning, like I have a job, but I'm totally at their whim, right? Like if they're like, well, we want a whole new group of emergency physicians, we're done with you guys, then I'm out of a job, right? Or, you know, like if I just, you know, basically I'm subject to them and their whims and whatever they want to do. Like if they want to give us a cut or rate, then they can do that. And like I mentioned, also the more I work, I really don't take home much more because of my tax rate. So he talks about that and just the whole concept of being a business owner, which is a really cool opportunity that we get to have here as Team Beachbody coaches. So a couple other points is that, you know, as in this business, you basically are building a business of helping others build their businesses, right? So that's what we do as we build our team. Like we're building businesses, but we're mentoring other people to build their business. And that's kind of like a really cool way of looking at it. You know, it's not just about you and what you're doing, but it's also about a lot of mentorship. And in the process, you're becoming a leader and you're giving yourself a ton of skills, like entrepreneurial skills, sales, social media, communication, leadership. It's basically entrepreneurial development as a network marketer. And then, you know, of course, there's all the fun incentives and rewards, which, sorry about that. If you think about it, it's basically all the like Success Club rewards and Success Club trips. I mean, it's basically you're getting these incentives to do what you should be doing anyway. Like if you want to build your business, like that's just like the basic foundation. So it's fun. Like, but basically when you think about those rewards, they're basically like telling you to just do the basic stuff that you need to do that's going to build your business anyway. So, but it's kind of nice to just have those rewards to kind of go after. So I guess my final point is just like the whole concept of working hard versus working smart. And so I grew up with this whole mentality of, I mean, if you guys haven't read the book, You're a Badass at Making Money, it's amazing. I just read it. Like I can't stop talking about how much I love it. And I read it once through and I didn't want it to be over. I was like, no, I think I'm actually going to read it again because it's just that good. And I actually didn't feel like I had any, you know how they talk about poverty mindset? Like I didn't think I had any kind of issues with that. And I didn't think I had any kind of money mindset problems. But which I may not really have had, but what I did have was this concept of that I have to work really hard if I want to be successful. That success only comes, like in terms of financial success or financial reward, that it only comes to people who work really, really hard, right? Like I grew up with that mindset. I grew up seeing my parents that way, that they had to work, and they kept like drilling that in my head, you know, like you have to work hard to like succeed, right? And there's truth to that, right? Like, it's not like a walk in the park, but like to me that meant like I had to work a lot of hours. I had to like be away a lot from my family, that if I wasn't doing that, like working crazy number of hours, then I wasn't being successful and I wasn't going to have the financial success that I wanted to have. And so that was kind of like a big revelation to me. So I think that what's cool about this is that it's really about being a lifestyle entrepreneur, right? So what is the lifestyle entrepreneur? It's basically someone who's an entrepreneur, but they don't give up their lifestyle, right? Like they live the lifestyle that they want to live, which for everybody is different, right? Like some people, for me, what that would mean is just being more with my family, being able to travel over the summers, like not working insane hours, right? Like a lot of entrepreneurs, they like give up their whole family life. They give up their life, like having a good lifestyle in terms of like time, freedom of time to build their business, right? So what's cool about this opportunity is that you can work smart, and like Tanya does, and like a lot of leaders on this team do, and like use your time efficiently and do the things that are income building, income generating activities. And you can work smart and earn a really great income doing this. And you don't have to work 40 hours. You don't have to work 60 hours. Like I had thought, like I had that mindset that like you need to work a ton of hours to like earn money. And so it's really about working smart. And so that's what this network marketing opportunity is about. It's about building your team, working smart, not necessarily working hard and long hours, but working smart and really being efficient in what you're doing. And so, yeah, and without having to sacrifice your lifestyle, like keep that in mind, like how you want to live your lifestyle. And that's what this has been for me. And I think it's such a cool opportunity. And I'm really thankful that this was presented to me, like really literally completely accidentally fell into my lap. Like I wasn't looking for it, and I'm really thankful for it. So that's all I have to say. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
That was awesome. That was so good. I love how you've researched everything, because, that's kind of what we did as well. I worked also for a corporation. I worked for Intel, and I was just away like all the time. And then the travel, made a great income, went to college for that job. And I got there and I'm like, what just happened? And then I'm never going to be able to be with my family. And then we owned a farmer's insurance agency, because we're like, we'll be self-employed. So we followed the whole little chart. And I had employees. We had a successful agency, but our overhead was high. Rents would go up. We did really well for ourselves, but I couldn't be there for my son. I had a baby. I had to go back I was working like right after a C-section, because if I wasn't there, everything was falling apart. And then I had good employees, but with employees, there's a lot of extra expenses and people get sick. And so I love how you touched on all of those, and, and how he says to follow that. Because I know that when I got into this opportunity and realized what it was, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so smart. I wish I would have started this years ago. So I love that. So thank you. And does anybody have any questions? We covered a lot of good information. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun. It was actually a really great learning experience for me, because, like sometimes my husband would be like, what is this network marketing thing about? And I was like, I just want to kind of, and I've just heard like some of the, like Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone in passing say things like, oh, I highly recommend it, and this and that. I'm like, really? I didn't know that, like I literally just didn't know a lot about it. So this was actually a really great opportunity for me to kind of connect the dots, like all the things I've been noticing and like loving about it, but just kind of also hearing from other people, kind of edifying what we're doing and endorsing it, I think was like really cool. And just to see how, like, I think I'm going to I've never actually read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've just watched a couple of his videos, and I was like, I think I really need to read his book.
Yeah, his book is good. It's really good. I actually just finished You're a Badass at Making Money for the second time, because I didn't want it to end. And I loved the book. I was like, why does it have to be over? And so I did it again, and I even got more nuggets the second time. I liked how you touched on, so yeah, I've been a coach for 5 years, and it does take some time to build up. This business, it doesn't happen overnight, but like if you heard what she said, like she's a doctor. She went to school. She had to go to school for 8 years, accumulate debt. Then as a resident, she was paid minimum wage, barely, for taking care of people's lives. Then she finally gets, the good income opportunity. And she does make a good income, you guys. She makes a really good income. But in order to make that income as a doctor, she has to be at the hospital away from her children. And like she said, she misses holidays. She misses activities with her kids that she would not, that she would like to be there for. And I think that's powerful, because sometimes people get frustrated that it takes time in this business. But trust me, it doesn't, if you're smart about it, it takes less time than most of the positions that, people are trying to gain in the corporate ladder. And I think that is important. And I can talk for the going on vacation, because in 2015, we did 2 months in Europe and then another month around the US. And I just worked my Beachbody business from all sorts of different countries with Wi-Fi. And it was incredible. So I can attest to that. It's amazing what this opportunity can do for you if you, take advantage of it. So thank you. Any questions or comments? Anything? Do you have anything to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've been kind of thinking about a lot of different business opportunities lately, like my husband has, and I mean, I just keep coming back to, like, we were actually considering a franchise recently too. My husband was thinking about it, and I was like, oh my God, like, as we went through the process of like hearing their presentation and stuff, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be so chained down to this thing, And I was like, this is not what I want. Like, it was like completely counter to what I'm trying to do with my Beachbody business. I was like, I feel like I paid my dues, like I was in residency, I was in med school, I'm like done with all the crazy hours, like I feel like I've done that enough, and I'm like gonna be, like I'm going to be 40 pretty soon, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing night shift forever, and I don't want to be doing all these weekends forever. And so like, sometimes people are like, why, like sometimes wonder like, why am I so driven? And it's really because of that freedom of time. Like for me, it's not really about the money. It's really about creating like the money. And this is another huge thing that they talk about in, You're a Badass at Making Money. Like, it's not really about the money. It's about what the money allows you to do, right? Like the money allows me to have more freedom of time and to say to my work, hey, I'm going to take 2 months off. So sorry, like don't put me on the schedule. Like I could get to that point. I'd be like, I'm here as needed, like when it fits my schedule. So these are days I'm available and these are days I'm not, so I like, for me, it's about creating that freedom of time eventually. And I totally get that this is not a get rich quick scheme. And honestly, like I wouldn't believe in anything like that. And I think that it does take time to build up. And that to me is like so natural. Like I think like, I get that, like having gone through so many years of school, that it's not like an overnight thing. It's going to take time to develop and build, but that it will over time, So I think that, like, I think people just really need to connect with like, people are so afraid to like, I think what was really good about that book too, is like people are afraid, like I hear a lot of people say like, oh, it's not about the money. Like, I don't care about money, but like, you really need to think about like, not so much the money, but like what it's going to allow you to do. Like, would that allow you to quit a job you don't like? Would that allow you to like cut down on your hours? Or would that allow you to travel more? Like, how would it make you get to be more of what you want to be? And like, how would that kind of allow you to express like what you want to be,
Exactly. Money is just a tool, and
yeah,
it can buy, and it can buy you that freedom. It's definitely bought our family our freedom, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's such an incredible opportunity, and you've done really well. I mean, you're crushing Success Club. You've got a great team, and you've done that all while working busy, crazy hours. I mean, I see you working in the ER like all you're, like crazy, like nighttime, daytime. I'm like, how does she do that? And then you show up to team calls and it's so awesome. I'm like, you go. And
yeah, I know. It's kind of like walking around jet lagged all the time. So, I use it as my excuse for all my typos and bad grammar and stuff like that. So I like have a ton of typos. And like, I know people like Jenny like never has any typos, so she probably gets like annoyed at me, but I'm like, dude, I'm just like trying to get this stuff done, when I can. And like, I'm in my, like night shift, brain fog sometimes, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's cool how you can just fit it in, like whenever you can, like honestly, yeah, like when I get a slow night shift, like I will work on my business. That's kind of cool. Like every once in a while I'll get that, but not often.
Yeah, I can't imagine the ER is very slow at night.
Every once in a while I get that, but it's very rare.
Yeah,
very rare.
that is awesome. Thank you so much. Jenny, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I mean, you were asking for, I don't have any questions, but I wanted to just say that was awesome. I also like how you did so much research in different, specific things. I think it's really cool to have all those specific examples for our team to have in mind when they're inviting to the coach opportunity, and like for, when we do sneak peeks, because I think people are so skeptical. And so like, it's really nice to have all that background information. And then obviously a lot of what you said is very true for me as well. So that was kind of cool to hear it all together. But I just wanted to also add on the like freedom of time thing. I was just noticing this weekend. So now that I've cut back my hours to part-time nights, I have a lot of weekends off. And I looked at Kevin, like we just like have these weekends. We're like home hanging out, like not doing anything, which never was not a thing because I was working at least half the weekends, if not more, like my whole adult life. So if I had a weekend off, it was like, okay, we have to do like pack in all the things we ever needed to do together, because my husband works Monday to Friday. So I looked at Kevin yesterday and I was like, it's so weird to have like all this time, like to just like be home on the weekend, like, and we don't have to actually do all our stuff in like one day because we have like so many weekend days together. And it's funny because I kind of knew I wanted more time, but I don't know if you really feel how important it's going to be until you like are there, if that makes sense. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so awesome. Even when I was a resident, even when I was attending with no kids, I never had like weekend time off with Kevin. And Beachbody has definitely, my income from Beachbody has definitely made it possible for me to cut back on being in the hospital. So like you said, Archana, like the ability to just be like, I'm like, if someone needs extra shifts, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm not working those extra shifts. And having that vision of making more income with Beachbody so that I can have more of that freedom on the weekends or for holidays or things like that. So anyway, just to throw that, I think the more anecdotes and stories we have to share as we're sharing the coach opportunity, that really like hits home for people. So
I think that's a good thing, you guys, because Jenny is also a doctor, if you didn't know. Fit Mom MD.
And someone thought that was Maryland one time. So then I was like, oh, maybe I need to change my logo. They're like, are you from Maryland?
But you guys, Jenny had a good income when I recruited her. And she just looked at it, as an opportunity, but she didn't have any kids yet. Like since she's been a coach, she's had 2 kids in 2 years. And so she's gotten a crazier life and she's built her business while working in the hospital. And I know she can't work her business while she's at the hospital because her shifts are crazy. I mean, she sent me texts of the ambulances lined up outside. And she's like, looks like it's going to be a busy night. And I'm like, oh, are those all for you?
Yeah. No, they're for Archana.
And
then they come to me.
And then you guys, she had her first baby and then she had another baby. And, so she has 2 little ones right now. She's got Charlie and Nora, and she's built her business while being a doctor, while having 2 babies, going through that. And then, she's one of the top coaches on our team, and she makes a phenomenal income with Beachbody, and she was able to cut down, like she said, go to part-time from full-time hours at the hospital and have that precious time with her kids, like, and her husband. Like, how awesome is that to have that gift of time? And that's what this opportunity is really about, is giving people their time. Like, money's awesome. It is. But the time, like having my husband home and having us able to go to all our kids' activities together and is pretty dang cool. And that's what, these ladies are talking about. So I just think it's great. I think it's awesome. And you guys rock. And so thank you for sharing. Anything else, anybody, before we go?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, kind of piggybacking off of Jenny and like how she was mentioning for a coach sneak peek. I think like part of the reason I want to do this is because I do get that MLM objection. Sometimes people are like, oh, is that an MLM? I don't want to be a part of that, you know? And so it's like, why? Like, what are people's preconceptions of MLMs? And like, I kind of wanted to research it and like have this information available to people to say, like, you know, did you know that Tony Robbins endorses MLMs? Or like Grant Cardone, and like all these like leaders, you know, amazing people that most people think are awesome. So, I mean, I think that that's like something that we can all utilize as like, you know, when we get those MLM objections, as to like all the really great opportunities there are with it.
I agree. I think it's such an awesome opportunity. I mean, network marketing. I love Beachbody and what it stands for. So getting behind it is easy. And the fact that they put the opportunity with, you know, for it is just incredible, because I agree, like the passive income, and we get paid to help people with their health and fitness and work on ourselves. Like the quote you said about, like, you know, in the beginning, like, you know, we're developing ourselves. And so we're becoming better people, and which makes us better parents, better friends, better, you know, better daughters, sons, spouses, like in every way. I just, you know, it's just awesome. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a great night, and I will get the recording up here shortly.
Hey, Tanya.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.